The news is live on Joe 99.7 FM and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including ATL FM Cape Coast, Might FM Tamale, Bewa Radio Yendin, and in Kiligi FM Bali. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, public health crisis looms as health authorities record a surge in typhoid fever in some communities in the Pru East District of the Pru East region following the contamination of drinking sources by the recent floods.
The polluted water bodies are only source of drinking water. We continue to use it for domestic purposes.
Also, 10 persons, including 2 police officers, arrested in connection with illegal mining at Draboso in the Western North region. We have details of that in business.
Trade Minister Katie Hamon hits hard at critics of the legislative instrument to restrict the importation of selected items. We've got details on the Joy Business Report.
And later,
safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Today on Drive campaign ahead of the festivities, we focus our attention on pedestrian safety as the National Road Safety cautions drivers to stay within the legally acceptable speed limits.
Please let's be cautious. Pedestrians wear the right attire and walk at the right direction to avoid crashes during the festive season.
These are more coming up with me, Mamyesi Nyamiche Thompson. In our first story, some communities in the Pru East District of the Pru East region are recording an increase in cases of typhoid fever following the contamination of drinking sources by floods. Now, data in the District Health Directorate show about 200 recorded cases, with 21 complicated cases. A majority of the cases are recorded in the Parambo and Sewaba communities. District Health Director Ramzea Ahmed says community sensitization is being enhanced to deal with the cases. Nana Aljima has more on the following report.
About 12 communities in the Pru East area were flooded after the Volta Lake and Pru River overflowed their banks due to excessive rainfall. The flood left many families displaced. Over 120 homes were affected. Waste from the communities submerged were washed into the water bodies, which are the main sources of drinking water in the communities. Families who rely on these sources for drinking water share their experience.
The polluted water bodies are only source of drinking water. We continue to use it for domestic purposes. My daughter had to undergo surgery when she contracted the illness. My daughter wasn't the only one affected.
Prambo is among communities largely affected by the outbreak. Residents have grappled with insanitary conditions and access to potable drinking water. Nurse manager of Prambo Clinic, Nash Bequin, who is alarmed by the situation, wants the community to take action to improve sanitation and water sourcing.
Water bodies were infected, causing the outbreak of enteric fever in the sub-districts.
For Joy News, Nana Aljima reporting.
Let's head to the Western North region now, and 10 persons, including 2 police officers, have been arrested by the Rapid Response Unit of the Forestry Commission in the Draboso district. They include 4 Chinese nationals. Listen to the military team questioning some of the suspects during the arrest.
We are on. When we were there, we saw you. We had you. I was videoing information that I didn't do. Please stop the noise and listen to him. We had info that illegal mining activity is going on today for us. So our commander instructed us. So who is that commander? Chief Superintendent.
Adisa Mega.
Yes. Instructed you of Asawiso district. Okay. As well as his assistant, Mr. Ernest Obin, also of Asawiso district. that we should patrol within to locate and identify if there's such activities going on.
Well, you had some interaction there when the military team went there to arrest some of the suspects. My colleague Erastus Asaridonko has been following this and joins me with more. Erastus, first of all, can you please describe exactly what happened in this video?
So this is one of the suspects, the two police officers who were arrested on site at the Kokusia Forest Reserve. You heard him there explaining who authorized them to come to that particular area. So that's Detective Sergeant Yaya Andrews, who was arrested by the Rapid Response team of the Forestry Commission. So he was saying that his superiors from Akarenso had detailed them to patrol the forest reserve, of course, which is the duty of the Forestry Commission.
Right, and so what happens now?
Well, so the Forestry Commission Rapid Response Unit has for some time been invading mining in some of these forest reserves. And yesterday, there was an operation at the Kokusia Forest Reserve. Mind you, this is the same area we had wanted to film, but we were advised by security experts that it was too dangerous to enter. And so I'm particularly interested in this, that finally the Rapid Response Unit has been able to engage there. 10 excavators were bent, 10 people were arrested for this charge, and 2 police officers you had them.
Right, thank you very much, Erastus Asaridonko, as a man on the ground following this beat, and will certainly keep an eye on this development. Away from that, proponents of the anti-gay bill currently at the consideration stage in Parliament have softened their stance on imprisonment of persons engaged in LGBTQ sex as they back the option of caution by judges during prosecution. Instead, the anti-gay bill sought to criminalize sex between persons of the same sex, between man or woman, and animal or object, and proposed a punishment of between 3 and 5 years. But the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee recommended a jail term of up to 3 years without recommending a minimum sentence. A decision will be taken on that proposal later today by the Speaker, but a key proponent, Roxanne Nelson Afiamakpo, backs the proposal for judges to caution culprits.
There will be circumstances where during prosecution or after a successful prosecution and conviction, the court may be minded, depending on the peculiarity of the facts of the case and the applicable law, to nearly caution the person to go and be of some good conduct. So we want a legislation where there can be upper ceiling, but the lower ceiling will be left at the discretion of the judge to exercise after a successful prosecution.
Roxanne Dafiamakpo there. Now, he thought his long cherished dream of studying at one of the best universities in the world had ended in 2019 when he lost his father some months ago before his final exams. But fate had a different script for the life of 20-year-old Ebenezer Che. 4 years later, he has won $2 million worth of scholarships from 6 best universities in the world. Maxwell Akbaba has more in this report.
As at now, it's exact luck.
Ebenezer Che, when I met him 4 years ago during the National Science and Maths Quiz competition, he had co-founded Exiatlog. The app replaces the age-old paper-based Exiats. Ebenezer had just lost his father and was also disappointed he couldn't make it into the NSMQ team of Presec Legon.
It was really a shock. I felt that my dreams were crashing. He wasn't too wealthy that much, so he was really trying his best. I mean, the school fees was even more than his salary. But the final test, they wanted to take 6 students, and then I ranked 7th on the test. So I was just under the line. Yeah, it really got to me, but then I channeled that disappointment to I was like, you know, maybe programming is yours, so just focus on that.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
The National Road Safety Authority is urging drivers to adhere to the legally prescribed speed limits ranging from 10 to 50 kilometers per hour in urban areas and 80 to 100 kilometers per hour on highways. Pearl Edisu, the Public Relations Officer of the authority, emphasizes that reckless driving and wrongful overtaking contribute significantly to road crashes.
I want to caution all drivers to be cautious on the road. Do not exceed the speed limit. Do not do wrongful overtaking and do not drive recklessly, because all these things are factors that causes crashes. As we are entering the festive season, a lot of crashes will happen because of heightened mobility. Please let's be cautious. Pedestrians wear the right attire and walk at the right direction to avoid crashes during the festive season, so that by the end of the year we'll all stay alive.
And that's how we end this bulletin this morning. And our top story: public health crisis looms as health authorities record a surge in typhoid fever in some communities in the Pru East District of the Pru East region. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Business is next on the Super Morning Show.